How do you post Doberman ears, or how do you post dog ears in general? Very hot topic, but I've been posting Doberman ears for over 10 years for my clients, and I've broken it down to a very simple process I'm going to show you today. Now, with that being said, what's the general rule of thumb for how you're going to post the ears? First of all, I'll show you the things we're going to use. They're right here. Very simple to do. But the length of time, how long do you have to post their ears for, is going to depend on your dog. So what I recommend is when you start posting every 4 to 5 days, remove the posts, let the ears air out for 1 to 2 days, and then repost. That should be your basic cycle. If you don't do that and you post them for too long, you keep the post in too long, the gunk in the ears can build up and you can have some ear infections, which obviously is going to cause some problems. So we don't want that to happen, which is the main reason why we're rotating out the ear postings every 4 to 5 days. Now, with that being said, let's say you take the postings out and the ears are standing up pretty good. You may not need to post again, but if there's any flimsiness to the ears or a floppy ear, I'm definitely posting again until that flimsiness and floppiness goes away. Now, one thing I do recommend that you add to your dog's food to supplement their cartilage buildup is going to be the Canine Super Supplements puppy formula that you can get from rawandpawcompany.com. That formula in and of itself has powdered goat milk in it and other ingredients that are going to help calcify those ears very quickly. So it's highly recommended that you add that to your puppy's food, at least until those ears are solid and standing up properly. How are we gonna post Doberman ears? First, we're gonna need a few basic supplies. First of all, this is what we're primarily using. It's backer rod. Now, there's 2 sizes of backer rod that you may need. First, you're gonna need a 1/2 inch backer rod, which is what this one is right here. Is what it looks like when you take it out of the package, and I'll show you as we're actually posting the ears here in a second. But the 1/2 inch backer rod is great to start because those puppies' ears are very small, and so you need a small piece of backer rod to go in those ears. As your puppy gets older, if you're still posting, you're gonna need to increase the size to a 3/4 inch backer rod. I don't have one right here, but it looks exactly the same. It just says 3/4 inch instead of 1/2 inch up here on the top right of the packaging whenever you're looking. And you can get this from a local hardware store. You can get it off of Amazon, whatever's easier for you. I'm gonna put all these supplies that you can get on Amazon, links down in the description below as per usual. All right, the second thing you're gonna need is some regular duct tape. We're gonna make the backer rod more rigid and stable with the duct tape. The next thing we're gonna need is Zonas tape. Zonas tape is the particular tape type that you need because it is the gentlest on the ears. If you use some other kind of tape, you're gonna potentially tear up the ears from the inside and outside more than the Zonas tape will. Zonas tape can be hard to find sometimes. You can get it at a local pharmacy like CVS if you're in the United States. You can get it at a hardware store sometimes. I buy this on Amazon. You guys know I love Amazon. I buy it on Amazon, but you're only able to get a larger box on Amazon, so it costs more and you have a bunch of it. But this is great for medical care for yourself as well if you need it, okay? So we've got the backer rod, we've got the duct tape, we've got the Zonas tape. That's basically what you need to post the ears. What about adhesive glues? There's a bunch of different Doberman ear posting methods that people are doing out there. Those methods for me, it's just adding too much work and it's making it more messy. And I don't like the adhesive glues because you always gotta clean them off. And the backer rod method is extremely effective whenever you're posting your dog's ears. But with that being said, even if you do everything perfectly, you might still accidentally pull some of the skin on the ears off. You might accidentally pull some of the hair. So what do you do in that case? What I recommend in that case is you get Quick Derm wound ointment. You can get this on Amazon. It is relatively expensive, but this is the best wound ointment that you can get. You can use it for hot spots. You can use it for cuts and scrapes, but you can also put it on the little sections in the ear where the skin kind of comes apart, okay, or peels up if some of the tape peels it up. And if you have a little soft spot on the ear, you can take a little pad like this, a little cotton pad, wrap it around the backer rod once we get it inside the ear, like so, and that provides extra padding for the ear. So before we start working with a young Doberman that needs her ears posted one more time, I'm just gonna take you through the basics of how to set this up. So basically what you're gonna do, you're gonna size the backer rod to the ear. Once you do that, you're then gonna take the duct tape. You're gonna lay the backer rod onto the duct tape like so. Now you know what the height is. You're just gonna cut that duct tape right here. Boom. Now you're just gonna wrap that duct tape around the backer rod. And you can already tell it's more rigid. That's all you need right there to help those ears stand up. That's how you do that. Then what I do myself is I wrap this in Zonas tape to provide some cushion to the post. So right here, I just do this, very easy. Just wrap it around like so. And the whole point here is the duct tape can be kind of rough around the edges or harder on the inside of the ear. So I make sure that I take Zonas tape all the way around like so. That's it. That took me 30 seconds. And this is gonna be softer for the inside of the ear. Now don't forget, if you have a little soft spot on the ear, you're gonna take one of these little cotton pads, put it where that soft spot is in the ear, you're gonna wrap it around like so once you start posting it, okay? So that's your post, you need one for each ear. Then what we're gonna do once we actually get it in the ear, we're gonna wrap Zonas tape around the ear and the post. We're gonna run Zonas tape up all the way from the base to the top of the ear. We're just gonna gently tighten it with our hand, do that with each ear. Then we're gonna create a bridge between the ears with the backer rod, with the duct tape. There's no need to get extra supplies. Just get the backer rod, use the backer rod, cut it to the length that we need it, and then use Zonas tape to tape it to each ear. Now you're done. All right, it's gonna stay on for 4 to 5 days. One thing we need to think about, how do I prepare my dog for ear posting? How do I prepare my dog to be handled? How do I help my dog be calm? Well, that's gonna come down to some handling drills. And depending on your timeline, you may have a lot of time to do a bunch of handling drills and get your dog really good with being handled before you ever have to start posting. And that's great. You're gonna hold their face, hold their ear, mess with their ears, and say good and reward them when they're being still and calm. Repetition of that means that they're gonna be way better with handling. But what if you're short on time? You just need to maximize the time that you're able to reward your dog for being calm during the posting process, which I'll show you here in just 1 minute. Lucy here is a 5-month-old Doberman. And so we wanna basically get her used to us handling her head and everything. And we wanna keep in mind that we only want to reward the things that we want her to be doing long term. If there's things that she is doing that we don't want long term, like all this pawing and jumping on me, we're gonna use the leash. We're gonna say no. If I'm not talking to you, we'll say no. We're gonna say no. We're gonna use the leash to help manage her if she's doing something that is not something that we want her to do, right? So I got her on the pet cot right here. I'm just gonna start rewarding her for doing the right thing. I'm doing a lure right here. I've got a lure in my hand. Notice how good, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for her to lay down. She does have a tendency to use her front paws for a lot of different things, right? So as time goes on, I want to make sure that she's not using her front paws to punch people, touch people, those kind of things. We need to stop that habit, but it is a pretty solid habit that she has right now. So, you know, if she's doing that, we want to prevent that. Notice how she keeps putting her front paw on me. Use my hand to take that off, then I can reward her. She's just laying right here, right? So for handling drills, you want to get her used to messing with her ears. So right here, I'm going to touch her head like this. Good, right? Like so. Another thing you can do is one hand in front of her head, another on the rear. So right here, like so. Notice how I'm kind of messing with her ear right here. Good, right? As long as you say good and then get your food reward to reward, that's going to help you when it comes to classical conditioning, right? Now she's trying to come off the cot right here, so I'm using the leash to help keep her on the cot right here with this hand. Good, right here. Now I'm gonna mess with her ear a little bit like so to mimic putting in the posts, right? I'm gonna have to hold up her ear, stick things into her ear, right? All this kind of stuff, good. She's staying relatively calm for that. We can mark and reward that. Now you see how her ears are kind of standing up, like she's got them pulled off to the side right now, but notice how they're not flopping over. And there is a little bit like right here, right? This one has a little bit of floppiness to it, which is why we're posting still. But this here right here is relatively rigid. So maybe one more posting and she's done with posting. Good, right here. Good. But we do have her on the Canine Super Supplements puppy formula as well to help those ears stand up straight. But this right ear right here is a little too floppy. That's why we need to post again. All right, so since we've done some handling drills and she's getting into the zone here, let's go ahead and get ourselves set up. Now she is gonna be probably interested in what we're doing, so I'm gonna work to manage her like this with her leash. Nope. While we do this, right? So first, we need to get a measurement of her ear. Nope, 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 yep. She wants to do all this. Lucy down. We don't want her to do that. Nope, down. Good. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna get a piece of backer rod. I'm actually gonna cut one longer than what we need right here. That way I can hold it up to her ear and get a rough measurement on what we're actually gonna need. So since she keeps trying to bite it, I'm gonna go back to our handling drills. Notice I put my whole hand over her muzzle. I'm not squeezing down, I'm just holding it. If she's trying to paw it like this, right, what I'll do, obviously there's still some more handling drill work to be done here, but what I'll do if she starts pawing it is, you know, if she can be calm, I'll take my hand off, but if she can't be calm, I'll keep holding like this. Now what I want is just a rough measurement. If I stick that backer rod into her ear and I extend her ear all the way up, I'm gonna pinch it right here. That's about the length that I need from here down to here. I'm actually gonna cut it a little bit higher because once we post it, then we'll actually you know, trim it down to the actual size that we need. So I cut it a little bit longer than we need. Remember, the first step is gonna be the duct tape. So right here, we're just gonna do the same process that we did earlier, which actually I have these two posts ready to go that we did earlier. So remember, we put the duct tape on, then we wrap the Zonas tape around it. So that's what we're gonna do right there. Then what I'm gonna do is insert this into her ear. All right, so what I found to be best is if I get the Zonas tape started, like so, set that off to the side, get the dog's head, right? They're gonna be a little squirmy wormy for the most part. If you do more handling drills, obviously this part will be much easier. So right here, good. Get her stable, get that post down into the ear, extend the ear. I generally will wrap the ear like so, and then come in here. I want to make sure this tip is as stable as possible. And then come in here and get the Zonas tape started. Now if you have two people helping, that can be beneficial as well. But if you're a solo operator like I am right now, this is what you're gonna do. This front side of the ear is the most important to make sure that it doesn't get bent over. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So right here, insert this down into the ear. The front side of the ear needs to kind of wrap around the post, just like so. Then you get your Zonas tape, and just get it started just like this. Once you get it started, you can make sure that ear is good to go. And then you're gonna start wrapping. Now your wraps need to be relatively loose at first, and then you can kind of come back and tighten them down a little bit, which I'll explain that in just a second. Just gonna go all the way around the ear, all the way up the ear. Make sure the ear is as extended as possible while you do this. Go all the way over the tip, and then you can do a cut up here at the top. Okay, now that you have that post in, you're just gonna do a light pump on the post with your hands like so. Right, that's gonna keep that post relatively secure. Then what I do is I feel the tip of the ear right here with my thumb, come back with my scissors, and I cut off the excess right there. Just make sure you know where the tip of that ear is. Obviously you don't want to accidentally clip the tip of the ear. So that's one post right there. I'll probably not double wrap it, but you can double wrap it with tape if you need to. It feels pretty firm. So now we're just gonna do the other ear the same way. So I've got this other rod right here ready to go. If they start itching and stuff, just help them get used to it right there. Nope, nope. Keep the Zonas tape off to the side. Let's do a little reward right here. Good, for calmness, rewarding calmness again. Good. Okay, we take the next backer rod, or the next post. Nope, nope, good. Take the next post, we're gonna stick that into the ear, the other ear. Like so. Actually, let me do this side. Stick that into the ear like so, just like we did before. Make sure it's seated in there nicely. Start your Zonas tape. Ideally at the base. Do what you can. Make sure those the sides of the ear are curled around the post to the best of your ability. Then you're going to start posting like so. I'm watching the tip of this ear. I want to make sure it's extended as much as possible. up along that post. Then we're gonna go all the way up the ear. Good girl. Go all the way up the ear here. And once we completely cover the tip, just do a tear right here, like so. Wrap it around. Now you're gonna do your pump, like so. You're gonna feel the tip of the ear. Make sure you get a little bit above that. Then you're gonna do your cut. Make sure I got the tip. Do your cut, like so, boom. Okay, now you got both ears posted, right? Now, we have to do the bridge, because if you just post them like this, they're gonna sit wide, right? They're gonna sit wide. So what we want is we want the bridge to basically hold the ears upright and together, something like that right there. So what I normally do, get a piece of backer rod that's longer than what we need. So we get our duct tape going. We do the same process. We wrap the backer rod in the duct tape. So we just stick it like this, just like we did before, to provide that firmness to it. Now this one you don't have to wrap in Zonas tape because it's not actually touching the inside of the ear. It's just going between the ears. So then what I do is I move the ears as best as you can. Right here. No. See how she's having an issue? So I just hold it. Good. Right here. Hold. Good. Dobermans are also notorious for just putting their chin in your hand as they get older. So right here, maybe it's from all the posting when they're younger. So right here, you just bring the ears up to the best of your ability again. Every dog's gonna be a little squirmy wormy. So you do this, and you basically do like a rough measurement. So we want them right about there. So I'm gonna have it right about here. Rough measurement. Trim it. Then you're gonna tape this to the ears with your Zonas tape. So what I do, I start off wrapping the bridge with the Zonas tape like this, and I'll go ahead and put it. I like putting it lower on the posts, like this right here, and then I wrap that around. That was a little bit short, the Zonas tape was, which is fine. It just kind of roughly holds it there for me. So then I'll get another piece of Zonas tape, right here. Okay, that's kind of your rough holding right there. And then basically, I want to do the same thing to the other side. Nope. Right here, you can actually do to the best of your ability, put these together like so, and then you're gonna wrap it like so. If you have two people, this process can be a little bit easier. One person can kind of manage the dog while the other person is actually posting the ears, but that's pretty good for having one person. So that's my rough bridge right there. Then I basically come with the Zonas tape, and I'm gonna secure it even more. So I just do a wrap around each side like so with the Zonas tape. Go over and under, and then I basically will clip it right there, like that. So I went around and then over. Make sure it's secured. Same thing on this side. Start with the Zonas tape underneath, ideally. Do a little wrap around, like so. And then come back over. Usually trim it, just like that. And that's usually pretty good about holding them. So that's what it looks like. Okay, they are basically standing up, right? The bridge is a little crooked, but that's okay. At the end of the day, this is gonna help provide that rigidity to the ears to help them stand up straight when we take that posting off. The next thing you wanna do is start teaching your puppy obedience. We've started Lucy's obedience training already, but if you want to learn how to train your puppy to their own obedience, watch this video right here. I'm going to show you the method that I follow to teach obedience. So check that video out and let me know if you got any questions in the comments. We try our best to respond to everything in the comments. We'll see you there.